Hi everyone, welcome to the presentation today where I am going to present on 10 tips for eating well. So first of all, just to introduce myself, my name is Leona Courtney and I'm a registered dietitian working at NutriVive. So for those of you that don't know, NutriVive is a nutrition consultancy company where we see a wide variety of clients. We provide high quality nutritional advice, which is always tailored towards the individual or towards in a group setting also. For those of you that would like more information or would like to contact us, I will provide the details on the very last slide. So today's presentation is going to last roughly about 20 minutes long, okay? So just going to start off now. So first of all, I just want to say that everyone's diet should be flexible and have variety in it. It is important that we eat a variety of foods, and when I say a variety of foods, I mean choosing foods from the fruit and vegetable section, carbohydrates, protein, whether this is meat or meat alternatives, and whole grains, high fibre foods, as well as dairy or dairy alternatives as well. The main reason why we want to get our food in from a variety of the food groups is just to provide us with a good selection of vitamins and minerals to meet our nutritional needs and to prevent any deficiencies. Also remember that food is there to be enjoyed. It is there to provide energy for our daily activities, and it's also there to be consumed mindfully and can be used socially also. So first point today is that everybody should include lots of fibre in our diet. So the government guidelines state that everybody should be having about 30 grams of fibre per day, and in Ireland, roughly on average, we are consuming about 18 grams per day. So yeah, definitely not enough. And the reason why we want to increase our fibre is because increased fibre has been associated with a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and it can also help to reduce bowel cancer and help with constipation as well. So just some ways now on how can we increase fibre in our diet. So if we look at breakfast in the morning, why not choose some whole grain breakfast cereals, such as whole wheat biscuits like Weetabix, something like a shredded whole grain cereal such as shredded wheat, or oats are another great source of fibre. If we are having something like, say, bread during the day or a wrap, why not go for, again, granary or wholemeal? And the same in things like pasta and rice. Where possible, always choose whole wheat or whole grains. Also, foods like lentils, bulgur wheat, couscous, they're a great source of fibre. If we're having potatoes, it is recommended to leave the skin on, as the skin actually has a lot of fibre, believe it or not. So for example, something like a baked potato with the skin on would be a good high fibre source. And again, if you're having a stew or a curry or a salad, adding beans, lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans, again, can greatly increase the fibre content of the meal. If you are having a meal, again, try always adding vegetables or a side salad. And again, as a snack option, it's another way to get in some fibre. So for example, fresh fruit, vegetable sticks, such as carrot sticks with the skin on, even things like oat cakes or whole grain crackers are other good sources of fibre. Remember that if we do increase fibre, it is also very important to increase our fluid intake as well in line with this. And if your current diet is low in fibre, we would advise to gradually increase your fibre content rather than just completely changing everything in your diet to whole grain overnight time. So a slow gradual process with increased fluids would be recommended. So now on to protein. So it's very important to eat protein with every meal that we have. This can have many benefits, which I'm going to chat about. So most of you are probably familiar with the word protein, but basically the reason why we need protein in our body is because it helps the body grow and repair, and it helps to maintain good health as well. Believe it or not, protein can also help with satiety and keep you fuller for longer. And then I'm just going to chat about sarcopenia. So I don't know if you are familiar with the term sarcopenia. but it is a term used to describe the loss of muscle and strength, which can come with natural aging, and it can also come with immobility or reduced mobility as well. So sarcopenia can increase risk of falls and also reduce mobility. So therefore, if we can, it is best to slow down sarcopenia. So to help reduce sarcopenia in older adults, so anyone over the age of 65, they actually have increased protein requirements. So protein can be found in a variety of foods, both animal and non-animal foods. So now I'm just going to give you some tips on how to increase protein or include protein at each of your meals. So for example, breakfast, if you're having bread or toast in the morning, you could add some eggs to that. If you're having a cereal in the morning, Greek yogurt is a good high protein yogurt. Or again, if you are having cereal or even just a yogurt in the morning, you could add some nuts and seeds to this. At lunchtime, if you were having a baked potato, or again, if you were having bread, you could add baked beans. You could also add some low-fat cheese as well, so 2 good sources of protein. Or again, if you were maybe having a salad or a wrap at lunchtime, adding a source of meat, such as turkey or fish or tuna, as an example of a fish, are all high protein sources. So in the evening time, again, if you're having a meal, if you're having like a stew or a curry, you could add tofu or like corn, which is a meat alternative, or a pulse such as chickpeas or lentils, again, just to get some protein in. And then snacks during the day, there's many good high protein cereal bars out there. There's also high protein yogurts, which can have up to 20 grams of protein in them. If you were having crackers, again, as I said, cheese would help top up the protein. Or if you're having something like oatcakes or rice cakes or even a slice of bread, adding peanut butter to that will also help top up your protein. So now we're going to chat about fats, okay? So first of all is, why do we need to eat fat? So we need to eat fat for various reasons. One is for energy. 2 is because fat helps absorb vitamins such as vitamin A, D, E and K. Fat intake also helps with a healthy immune system, and it also fuels our brain to function day in, day out. Okay, so today I'm going to chat about 2 main types of fats, saturated and unsaturated fats. Okay, so the saturated fats are what we call the bad fats. Okay, so they can help raise your cholesterol, which we do not want. So cutting down on these foods and replacing them with unsaturated fats is beneficial. So saturated fats, a good way to remember it is that they're usually solid at room temperature. They are usually found in animal products as well as coconut products. So for example, dairy foods such as cream, cheese, full-fat milk, full-fat yogurt, butter and other solid fats such as ghee and lard and hard margarines, fatty and processed meats such as sausages, bacons, chorizo, salamis, etc., and also coconut and palm oil. So instead of having these, it is better to replace them with unsaturated fats. So the unsaturated fats are much, much better for cholesterol, for general health and for heart health as well. So the unsaturated fats are mainly found in plant foods and oily fish, and they're usually liquid at room temperature. Okay, they are usually found in oils from vegetables, nuts and seeds such as rapeseed oil, olive oil, and any spreads that are based on these oils. They are found in nuts and seeds, avocados and olives, and also oily fish as well, such as salmon, mackerel, herring and pilchards. So it is best to try and opt for the unsaturated fats where possible. So next I'm going to chat to you about calcium. So it's important to eat at least 3 portions of calcium-rich foods per day. And again, you may ask why. So again, calcium has many functions in the body, and one of the main functions is to maintain healthy bones and teeth. A lack of calcium, unfortunately, can lead to rickets in children and osteoporosis in adults. And in Ireland, we have roughly about 300,000 people who suffer from osteoporosis. So quite a lot. So it is advised that everybody, general population, should have at least 3 portions of calcium per day. But for 9 to 18-year-olds, they need at least 4 portions. This is because their bones are rapidly growing during this time. So again, how to get in your 3+ portions per day. So milk, cheese and yogurt. So for example, if you're having a meal, try and have a glass of milk. If you're having something like a lunch, beans on toast, you could add some grated low-fat cheese. And remember, things like yogurts are a great snack as well. So that's 3 different options there. Again, any of your meals, green leafy vegetables such as kale, Brussels sprouts and broccoli are also another good source. And you may also see, if you're shopping in the supermarket, lots of foods nowadays are fortified with calcium, such as fruit juice and cereal, so look out for these as well. And any fish that has the bones crushed in them, such as sardines and pilchards, are a very high source of calcium. So trying to incorporate these foods into our diet every day will help to reduce the risk of rickets and osteoporosis and promote good bone health. So now I'm going to chat to you about iron and why it is important that we regularly eat iron-rich foods. So iron is important in making red blood cells, which carry oxygen around the body. A lack of iron can lead to anemia, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. And anemia is one of the most common nutritional deficiencies in the world. Symptoms of anemia include tiredness, pale skin and weakness, but there are many other symptoms. These are just some of them. So some ways to eat iron-rich foods. Liver is a great iron source. However, it should be avoided during pregnancy because it has high vitamin A levels. Red meat is another great source of iron. Beans such as kidney beans, chickpeas, they're also a very good source of iron. Dried fruit such as apricots, and again, as I was saying, fortified foods. So not only can foods be fortified with calcium, they may also be fortified with iron. A lot of the vegetarian foods out there are fortified with iron, but you will need to look out for these on the label. So women that are pregnant actually have increased iron requirements, which I am going to show you on the next slide. This is mainly because they need to make extra blood to provide oxygen to the baby. Okay, women who also have heavy periods and lose a lot of blood are at increased risk of anemia, and they may need to take iron supplements. However, if you think this may be the case, always speak to your GP or a dietitian about this. So just a quick top tip is to increase the absorption of iron, because iron absorption, believe it or not, is actually affected by various foods and drinks. So for example, to increase the absorption, we would combine your iron source with some vitamin C. So for example, if you're having let's say a kidney bean bolognese, you could add a side salad. So the vitamin C in the salad would increase the absorption of the kidney beans. It is also best to avoid drinking tea or coffee within 30 to 60 minutes of having your iron and your vitamin C rich food, as they can also reduce absorption. Okay, and then if we just move on to the next slide here, I hope you can see it all. It's just basically at the top there is how much iron do we need. So you can see that females 19 to 50 and pregnant women require the most, and then females over the age of 50 have a lower iron requirement because the menopause. And then you can see there's animal foods and non-animal foods and how much iron they contain every day. So if you wanted to meet your requirements, you know how much of these foods will contribute. Okay, so next I'm just going to chat to you about fish. So a healthy balanced diet should include 2 portions of fish a week, and one of these should be oily fish. So that is because fish is a great source of many vitamins, minerals, also contains omega-3s, which is a healthy unsaturated fat that I had previously mentioned and is great for brain health as well as many other positive benefits on the body. So what is oily fish? I get asked this quite a lot. Oily fish is salmon, herring, mackerel, sardines and pilchards. As I said, these foods provide many benefits to the body, including heart health, and most people in Ireland unfortunately do not eat enough fish. Something that we often hear many clients say is that they don't regularly eat fish because they're unsure how to cook it. So my tip would be that most fish, believe it or not, actually cooks in 10 to 15 minutes, so try not to overcook it. And do ask your fishmonger for advice on specific cuts or types of fish, as they are a great source of knowledge. So also remember that fish that is steamed, baked or grilled is always a healthier choice than fried fish and fish without the batter. And some white fish, just to let you know, is fish such as cod, haddock, plaice, monkfish and sea bass. So white fish is also low in fat, high in protein as well, and contains iron, so should be included in the diet. However, it doesn't have as much of the unsaturated fats as the oily fish, so that's why it's beneficial to have both oily fish and white fish in the diet. Okay, now I'm just going to move on to the next slide. So eating less foods which are high in saturated fat, sugar and salt. So these kind of foods are your cakes, biscuits, chocolate, desserts, your fried foods such as chips, deep fried chicken, etc. So these foods are not needed in the diet, but if you do choose to eat them, the government guidelines recommend that we have them maximum 1 to twice a week. And the reason for this is because these foods, they don't have a huge amount of nutrition in them, and they can be high in calories and lead to weight gain and increase the risk of obesity. So where possible, it's best to replace these foods with alternatives. So rather than crisps, maybe opting for popcorn, unsalted nuts, fresh fruit, low-fat yogurts, cheese cubes are good alternative snacks. So now on to fluid. So did you know that 70% of the body is made up of water? So this is something which usually always shocks people. So it is essential that everybody drinks enough water to keep our body working. So water again has many functions. It keeps the heart pumping, keeps the brain working, allows our body to maintain a comfortable temperature. It also helps us to remove waste from the body as well. And if you don't drink enough fluid, you may become dehydrated. Some of the symptoms of dehydration include headaches, tiredness, dizziness and confusion. So you may be saying to yourself, how do I know if I'm drinking enough water? So first thing first, always listen to your body. If you feel thirsty, then drink. Okay. Second of all is the colour of your pee. So your pee should be a clear or a straw-like, like a pale yellow colour. It should not be a dark yellow or an orange colour. If so, this is telling you that you are dehydrated and you need to drink more. Most people need to drink about 1.5 to 2 litres of fluid per day. However, remember that if you are exercising or in the warm weather, you will need more. And again, a quick tip is if you are working during the day, and a lot of us are sitting at a desk all day long, why not fill up a large water bottle and sit it out in front of us? Another tip is even just always having a glass of fluids with your meals as well. So next I'm going to move on to the sunshine vitamin, which is vitamin D, and this is the last slide. So vitamin D has been quite topical in the past year. Some of you may have seen or heard about it in the media. So vitamin D is needed for good immune function as well as bone and muscle health. We get vitamin D through sunlight and also in foods such as eggs, cheese, meat and fish. However, many people in Ireland, unfortunately, are deficient in vitamin D, especially in the winter months due to lack of sunlight. So the majority of people will require a vitamin D supplement as it is challenging to obtain the amount that we require through diet alone. So again, if this is something that you think you may not be getting enough of, speak to your dietitian or your GP. So that is all for today. Thank you very much. There is my details there, and there is the NutriVive details at the bottom of the slide. So we have the phone number and the website, and at the minute, as I said, we do nutrition consultations on a one-to-one and a group basis, but all consults are over the phone or Zoom at present due to the COVID pandemic.